أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Mountains of Mecca, how was it done? On the day that my prophet Muhammad was born. How did it feel knowing he was to be the last and most beloved of all? Rasul of Allah, Nabi of Allah. On mountains of Mecca, you were there when the Prophet Muhammad came down in despair. Engraved in his heart were the words of his Lord to all of mankind. This was his call: La ilaha illallah Muhammad.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Dearest, most beloved, and divine brothers and sisters in the fraternity of religion, in the concourse of humanity, may the peace, may the mercies, and may the blessings of the Subhanahu wa Ta'ala be with one and all. The Lord God of the worlds be with one and all. Brothers and sisters, I'm dealing with a very important topic today, a continuation of the commencement of evil, a continuation of envy and jealousies. It was imperative last week to give a prehistory, an idea as to the creation of evil. Will God Almighty create evil to test us? I disagree with that concept. I think evil came out of the creation of God through the evil tendencies of another being that has the capacity to choose and the capacity to think. That is Iblis, the jinn force, and the higher jinn force. There were several hierarchy, as there are hierarchies in the angel, amongst the angels, because the Quran speaks of angel with one wing. 2 wing, 3 wing, 5 wing can't work. It has to be angels, does not necessarily need wings. That's a figment of human imagination. The wings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, stands for rankage with good, as is with the archangels. For example, Michael or Michael. All and the other archangels, they all have wings, it is said, but the wings stand for stature, status in the hierarchy as it exists. I spoke to you, brothers and sisters, about God Almighty addressing Al-Imran and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, who quoted the quote that I gave you, and I cannot do it over again, from Abu Abd Allah al-Imam al-Sadiq, when he quoted what the Prophet said about envious people concerning the favors and talents God gave. Why must anyone envy those things that they do? Only hurt upon themselves. And they try to hurt the envied one, or in Islam, Arabic, it's referred to as mahsud. And the person who envies is involved in the system of hasad and is an hasid. It's important to understand these words as I continue. Envy is a very dangerous thing in human nature. Hasad or malicious envy is a psychological state in which a person wishes for the deprivation of a blessing, a talent, or a merit possessed by another person. The mahsud, the envy one. Islamic ethical teachings shed light on the causes and motives of hasad and its harmful spiritual, moral and social effects, and offer practical solutions for combating this spiritual disease. And so we go on. I wish to encourage you to inform your friends and family of this program today. We're dealing with jealousies coming from the Bhagavad Gita, from the Holy Bible, and from the Islamic traditions and the Holy Qur'an. So, I also wish to advise you to check Electric Mosque Guyana on YouTube or Electric Mosque Guyana on Facebook, and also on my personal Facebook for this and other programs that are important for human development. The causes and motives of hasad. Remember, hasad is the process of envy or jealousy. Hasid is the envier. Mahsud is the person being envied. The scholar Al-Alama Al-Majlisi has mentioned 7 causes and motives of hasad. We have listed these causes as we proceed, and in some cases provided examples of hasad corresponding to the cause. Hasad is the process of the evil of envy. Remember that. And so we are going to deal with each one accordingly of the 7 that the scholars have listed. Enmity. Hasad, the process of envy, can be the result of natural enmity. For example, enmity against another family, tribe, or group can cause one to envy the success the other group or the other person or the other tribe might achieve. So enmity is something that is created from the internal existence of a being, or maybe a feudal hate or a generational hate from tribe to tribe. Number 2, the sense of one's supremacy. Very important. The hasid, remember, one who envies, anticipates the pride of the mahsud. That is the person being envied on account of a merit mahsud enjoys. Now, the hasid, these conspirators, the envious ones, know that you or you or you or myself might have a talent. And because of that talent and that gift, I or you might develop some pride. And the hasid is calculating that you have this pride and is looking forward for you to lose what you have because of the pride that you have. There are pride and there is false pride. In this case, we are talking of false pride over a talent or a position or a wealth. Not having the patience to put up with this pride, the hasid feels a sense of superiority and earnestly desires the loss of this merit. In his head, the hasid or the envier is creating an imagination that this person who has a merit or a talent or a wealth is going to be proud. And through that, the hasid is hoping and wishing that the mahsud or the envied person will lose the superiority or wealth, thinking the person is proud because of what he has. We have seen cases in which some family who envy be their relatives. As I was speaking in part one of a case in which a brother was he liked to call himself half-brother, was most envious and abusive of yours truly in Canada recently, when both of our parents were unwell, and abusive and derogatory to the extent never heard before. But what did I do? I allowed him to abuse. I could not bring myself down to his level. Some people have this natural way of talking about what they do for others. Oh, I did this for your family, I did this for your wife, I did this for your children, I did this for you. And mockingly and with derision attacks a person because of the talent and the strength and the power that the mahsood or the envied one might have. But instead, it is the favors of God for that person. And you can't want to deny that person his favors. And no matter what you did, or what you do, or we do, or I do, because I envy somebody, let me say I envy somebody, I cannot stop that person from achieving the greatness they were meant to from God Almighty. I will end up hurting myself, or you yourself, and I will end up acquiring diseases and pain because of the nature of my hate. So we have a technical problem here. So he hopes that that person will be proud. Oh no, the person might have a certain personal pride of achievement and talk amongst his family and friends, but the envious, the hasid, will go about mocking what he says, making him look bad, calling him egotistical, not knowing that every creature has some form of ego, and that ego is a good thing, but at different levels. The next one is kibir. Kibr, or pride and wonder. The hasid, the envious lowlifer, high-handedly treats the person who is conferred some merit by God, favor, or talents, and they wanted to see a great blessing enjoyed by the object of his envy. For example, a wealthy individual outwardly looks with disdain upon the respect enjoyed by a poor person, believing that he deserves to be the recipient of such admiration. A man might have money, but he might not have respect. A man might have respect and not money. And God Almighty, like he did to King Solomon, the wise give him wealth, good looks. Wealth like has never been seen by any human being or any nation or any creature. But there are some who would like to deny that person of the blessing that they deserve, whether it's one or the other. And I have personally experienced this recently in my sojourn in Canada, as I went to visit my mother who was unwell, and her husband. And we move on. Fear and love of authority. Also, the envious man is fearful of some hindrance on the part of the person enjoying an advantage or talent of merit that may frustrate his cherished objectives. Because of this man's talent to sing, or to speak, or to act in a movie, and to show the movie, and he doesn't have a chance to make crazy jokes and talk nonsense, or to show himself up, or make a spectacle of himself in some form, he wished to do something to the person who is enjoying the advantage of a talent and might be getting popularity, and this hasid wish to destroy that person fear and love of authority. Such fear manifests itself. It's just fear. The fear by itself is a terror for such persons. Just fearing that this man who has the merits of talents and the blessings and the wealth will take away some kind of a recognition that he would like to get. And he can't get because he doesn't have any talent. And I pray that God will give such persons some talents. But you have to, with talents, you have to get the blessing of God, and you have to inculcate it by studies, by application, by reasoning, by worship and prayers and sacrifice. For when some people were sleeping, some of us were burning the midnight oil. While some of them were getting fat, some of us were sacrificing, doing all kinds of jobs, all times of days and nights. Such fear manifests itself when one's acquiring or preserving our authority over others requires that nobody should share his advantage or merits. Operator, I don't know why I'm getting a bit hoarse because of nature. A human being of vicious nature does not like to see others enjoying any kind of good whatsoever. This is exactly what I'm talking about, that relative of mine. Seeing that everyone is about to sit down and watch a movie that I acted in and that we would discuss and chat and talk in it, he couldn't stand it. And while my part of the movie will come up, you could see he's closing his eyes and bowing his head and looking at me with derision. I'm trying to mix some of my personal experience so that I can get some personal guidelines so I can talk to you about it, so you can, the viewer, can see and look and understand what I'm saying. A human being of vicious nature, very vicious, does not like to see others enjoying any kind of good whatsoever, and they go out of their way to break up the event, to create unhappiness, to put down maybe the star of the moment, hoping to get some fame, and in reality gets shame. Such a person always greets news of another's good fortune, for example, in education or business, with sarcasm, pessimism. I have a reason why I wrote, because I had the same experience as the same guy. Pessimism and ridicule are with other unethical tactics or conduct. For example, every moment he sits with my wife, he would try to say something nasty about me, himself not having any talent or ability to win any form of respect or doing anything that will give him some respect or self-worth. I feel sorry for the guy. If he sits with my children, he tried to encourage them to protest against me because my children are brilliant, educated, wise, but he would try to mislead them to run away from home, take a raise, do wrong things. You know, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me carefully. Sometimes the hasid, the envious ones, the most violent and dangerous ones, I repeat, sometimes the hasid, the evil thinker, comes from your own family. Your own brother, your own uncle, your own aunt who might hate you and envy you because of the talent you have and because of the brilliance of your children, will try to destroy your children and your family. This is the reality. Your own family is the reality of hate at times. So one must be careful. Sometimes you see your own family doing black magic, or sending the bad eye, or wishing for your downfall, one way or the other. And if they do a favor for you, they talk so much that the favor turns filth. And they do not calculate the favors that you have done to them. Because if somebody do good for me, I do bad good for them. Anybody. One way or the other. With the talent I have, or a gift that I have. I always pay back for anything, anybody, anywhere ever do for me. But I'm grateful to them. And even though I might have paid them back and they don't realize I have paid them back. I will never say to them that I have paid them back and let them talk. But I always pay them back, and I will never say that I paid them off and I'm finished with them. No, I will always be grateful for the good that they might have done to me or my family. But they like to talk, and they like to talk too much. And on that, they bring disease and lack of self-worth and lack of dignity and total disrespect to their own soul and their own life. And you can see the bitterness and the failure in their faces. Look around and see what I'm talking about. Jealousy, envy, and I bring in some of my own experience for the purpose. I'm not saying who, nobody would know who I'm talking about, but this is the reality of life. It's your own that will try to destroy you. It could be you or your child is successful in education or business, and every family has some family who envies them. And they would talk with sarcasm to try and mock you, or pessimism. They say, oh yes, oh yes. For example, recently I met the movie star Amitabh Bachchan. I haven't even told my office that. And he gave me a book, a beautiful, big, heavy-duty book of his life, and signed it. And when I showed it to the same brother, he just looked at it and turned his face. Oh, I don't like him anymore. And when I showed him the book that I wrote, the first book that has not been published openly as yet, but the first copy for my mother to see. My mother, Mrs. Latifah Khan, is developing dementia and losing her memory, so I wanted her to have a copy of this book before anything worse happens. But I showed the same brother the book, and he just looked at it like this, and he turned his face. He didn't say anything. That is envy. That is jealousy. That is hate. And when he looked at that, Amitabh Bachchan signed it to me, a very fantastic, heavy-duty book. Suddenly he don't like Amitabh Bachchan anymore. That is hate. That is envy. That is jealousy. You know, I told him, it's Friday, I'm going to the mosque. Are you coming? He said, oh no, I don't pray to God anymore as I used in the past. You see, when you have an attitude or a behavior of evil, brothers and divine sisters around the world, the conquerors of humanity, we are inviting the devil in. We are inviting them in us to take control of our existence. So if we envious, we become more envious. If we are violent, we become more violent. And the man threatened that he's going to hurt me. Poor guy, because he don't know what I could have done with him that same moment. But that's not me. And I feel pity for the guy, and I pray to Allah that it will enter his heart and help him to overcome and chase the demon. Once you have jealousy, you consume alcohol, you gamble, you abuse, you curse, you fight, you're inviting the devil in. I repeat, we are inviting the devil in. The devil cannot just walk into us. We are higher than the angels. Quran teaches us that we as Muslims, we are higher than the angels. We are higher than the jinns. And evil preponderances that exist, this evil cannot enter us. We have got to invite them in through consumption of alcohol or intoxication of jealousy, intoxication of evil thoughts, intoxication of gossiping. We invite the devil in, and then he builds in us his castle of evil and evil preponderance. So never be envious of anyone who has a bounty from God. But you know what? You can get it. If you don't have it, you may get it. If it's the will of God, you need to bless that person. To bless that educated student. To bless that child who's ambitious. To bless that family who's successful, who has got his home, who has got the first car, or the second car, or the third car, or to bless them. Bless them so that you may get. Imam Ali, the son-in-law and one of the caliphs of Islam, and one of the greatest writers and scholars in Islam, said, Hazrat Imam Ali, The person who gives up hasad, envy or jealousy, is loved by people. Yours truly works not to be envious of anyone. Whatever they get, even if through conspiracy they take something from me, I bless them and I leave everything in the hands of God. Failure in life, failure to study, or hardness in the head, a non-achieving attitude, the gossiping filth, speaker of nonsense, maker of idiotic jokes. People laugh for the sake of laughing, or if they laugh, it's because they're similar like you would be. And he gets fooled because some people might laugh when he's making a ridiculous joke. And when somebody speaks wisdom, he wants to put that person down. This is a hasid. This is an envier, conspiring with the self in his own mind, night and day, imagining and wishing to bring down the glory of another, to bring harm, and in his own, he hurts himself. He, the envier, the hasid, will hurt himself, will destroy himself, and bring all kinds of diseases into his body and his heart. We make our diseases, we make our sicknesses by virtue of our thought. We write our successes. We create our glory by virtue of good, positive thoughts. We are the writer. We are the writers of our destiny through the power of God bequeathed into our souls by divine, beloved brothers and sisters. Have a good heart and have a good mind. And if you have hurt somebody, say you're sorry, ask for forgiveness from God and the person, and seek penitence. And worship your Lord and ask God, oh Lord, I made a mistake. Because when you curse one who is favored by God, you become more cursed, as we saw Pharaoh with Moses. What happened to Pharaoh? Every time he tried to destroy Moses and the Jews, the Israelites, look at what happened to the people of Pharaoh. His people wiped out and killed as he tried to kill the babes of the Jews. This is the reality. This is the reality of life. Let us pray and hope that God Almighty will bless us and grant us peace. Let us work with the government of Guyana. Any elected government of Guyana, we the people must bring peace. Let's work with the Commissioner of Police, his officers, the police department, to bring sanity and goodwill. Let us share information of criminality with the police. Let us share information of smugglers or drug dealing with the police. And some of you don't know who to contact. Contact yours truly. Contact men like Norman McLean. Contact men like from the Private Sector Commission, Jerry Govaya, Ramesh Nuku. Contact men like James Bond, attorney at law of the People's National Congress. Contact Bishop Edgill of the People's Progressive Party, because we want to keep Guyana sane and safe and good. And we pray for the ministers of government, we pray for our judges, and we pray for the sanity to prevail in the land, and the politicians will not allow our people to fight and to disrespect. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. And those of you who like to say salam and touch my hands, please touch my hand, touch my finger, and may God Almighty bless you May God Almighty bless you, and may you be healed of any illness or any problem or any difficulty, even on the screen. I pray for God to bless the country and all the people with prosperity and success. And please look out, ladies and gentlemen, for part 3 of the Islamic Mosque presentations of the teachings of Islam, when we will deal with the Holy Bible. We'll deal with the Holy Bible, and we'll deal with the Bhagavad Gita as it relates to envy. The Islamic Mosque teachings of Islam respects all religions, and I'm happy that over the decades, other sheikhs, maulanas, and scholars are now seeing the importance of respecting other religions. There was a time when they used to attack and criticize and hurt me. 20, 30 years ago. Today they are all as if in competition to unite humanity and religions. I welcome them to the cause of one humanity under God. Thank you. May peace and mercies be with one and all. Assalamu alaikum.